I've lost so many hours of my life to the Diablo series, and with the release of Diablo 4, today I try to capture the feeling of playing Diablo in a Magic the Gathering Commander deck. And to do this, I want to show off Diablo 4. So here's my character, Warrior Rebel. I'm just going to leave town real quick and show you some of the moves, and also how you can just kill stuff, get some coin, and then you can... Diablo is the most famous action RPG with a very simple premise. Kill more mobs, get stronger loot. Level up and keep going forever. And we have a bunch of cards that help you do exactly that. We have cards that give you loot upon your opponent's creatures dying, like Blood Money, Revel in Riches, and Life Insurance. We also have Mahadi Emporium Master as a shopkeeper who will shower you in gold for each bounty you take on your opponent's creatures. And what are we gonna do with all that gold? Wait, treasure. They're different. With these enchantments here to litter our board with piles of treasure, we have a bunch of powerful and cool mythic level gear to suit up our heroes. Otherworldly weapons like Drachnian, I think. RPG-esque items like the Resurrection Orb, or even something as simple and whimsical as a field-tested frying pan to use on the cow level. To capture the feeling of getting actual gear drops from our opponent's creatures, I added Audacious Reshapers as a way of turning the treasure tokens generated from our enchantments into equipment at random. There's a ton of different fun and powerful gear to play heroic dress up with, but who are the heroes in this deck? We'll get to that in a moment. Now that we know we have a treasure and equipment sub-theme to create a Diablo experience, this puts our deck into Mardu. While there are some really great legendary options for us to pick from, I landed on Sofina Spear Sage Deserter and Wernog Rider's Chaplain, as both Innistrad champions look like they came straight from defending Tristram. But they won't be our core defenders of humanity in this deck. Across the Diablo franchise, there are many classes of heroes you can play to defend the world of Sanctuary from the forces of evil. This deck will also pull legendary champions across Magic that best represents these classes for you to hack away your enemies with. Starting from Diablo 1, we have two legends for the warrior class. Aster and Cole both synergize well with our equipment theme. Aster allows us to equip our heroes with powerful gear at cheaper costs, while Cole provides a unique way to save our heroes in case they die by sending them back to our hand. For the rogue class, we have two legends to play with, Grenzo and Mari. Grenzo brings Go to the party, making it easier for our legends to connect to an opponent as their goaded creatures will be tapped, while Mari puts hit counters on any creature that dies from the opponent's board, and lets us remove those hit counters when Grenzo or Mari connects to draw a card and get two treasures. We have two sorcerers or wizards in the deck, Feign and Prosper. Feign, the broker from Strixhaven, removes counters from creatures we control to create treasure, but more importantly, can turn all the treasure we generate from our enchantments into flying inkling creature tokens. The more powerful caster here would be Prosper, a warlock that lets us exile the top part of our library at the end step and get treasure back upon playing any card from exile. There's only one legendary monk available to us in these colors, which is Alharu. Alharu powers up two other creatures with +1/+1 counters, and when a creature with a +1/+1 counter dies, Alharu can create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. There's also two secret classes that can only be accessed in the original Hellfire expansion of Diablo 1. First, we have the Bard. Luckily, we don't need to do any of the work to include a Bard into our deck. And we have a very fitting one. Kalain, Reclusive Painter, powers up our other heroes in the party if they're being cast by the treasures we make. The other secret class gets finished in Diablo 2, the iconic Barbarian class. In our deck, we have three Barbarians who are equally as iconic as this Diablo class. We have Kamal Pitfighter, Godo to find equipment in the deck, and Lovisa Cold Eyes to buff our Barbarians and Warriors. The Amazon is a fan favorite class from Diablo 2, and to represent this class, we have a very fitting Warrior Adept, Jessica, to pair with her brother Kamal. Then we have the Paladin class. In the deck, we have three Knights to represent this holy tank. The deck plays Balan, who fits very well with the equipment theme by being able to hoard all the gear onto himself for 2 mana. Danitha Capuchin reduces the cost of our gear to make them easier to buy with our treasures. And lastly, we have Nadar Selfless Paladin to introduce Venture into the deck. As a dungeon diving action RPG series, I felt like it was a great fit to add the Venture and Initiative mechanic to the deck to represent our heroes delving deep into the 4th level of the Catacombs to see Andariel for the first time to kickstart puberty. For the Druid class, the closest thing I could find was a Shaman whom I picked Baloth Baratil. Baloth goads our opponent's creatures with lesser power, and whenever a goaded creature dies in combat, we get even more treasures out of them, which fits the overall Diablo mechanic of the deck. Lastly, we have another fan-favorite class, the Necromancer. We have 2 very powerful minion masters in the deck. Gissa, Glorious Resurrector, who turns all of our opponent's creatures into zombie tokens of decay on our side, and this unpronounceable legend, who does the inverse and turns any party member who falls in battle into a zombie token. Just don't forget to collect their ears. The remaining class to include in the deck comes from Diablo 3, the Witch Doctors. The best way I could represent this spiritual class was through Shamans, which included Kumano Master Yamabushi and Valduk, who creates 3/1 elemental tokens for each equipment attached to him. Seeing we have so many legends in this deck, I added Flowering of the White Tree, Hero's Podium, and Relic of Legends as a way to support the Legends Matters theme. Lastly, to polish off the deck, I included some cards that fit the RPG theme, like Black Market Connections, Burekos for Party, Fighter Class, and Treasure Chest. If you're a fan of Diablo, I highly recommend trying out this deck. I've had a lot of fun playing Diablo 4. Here, let me pull it up real quick. The deck does a good job capturing everything Diablo has to offer, and I think you'll have a really good time playing it. This deck is highly customizable, and let me know in the comments below what legend you would add to this Diablo party. If you want to check out another cool brew, I made a Rule 0 Vorthos partner deck to celebrate Commander Masters with Ixtor and Reda Chroma. Another really cool deck is the Baron Sangir Ludwig deck I made for Gavin Verhey on Shuffle Up and Play that you can check out right here.